5 on your side at 10 starts now.
Failure to warn to a deadly and destructive tornado. Tonight, the new findings just released, raising the alarm on the city's response. Bad data?
They had an attorney lying to us, telling us that this wasn't going to raise our electric bills, it wasn't going to mess with our water.
The relief and lingering concerns after developers pull out of a controversial data center project in St. Charles.
I think there's a clear message that people are upset.
Plus, called to serve, the big job in D.C. leading to a vacancy in the Missouri Attorney General's office.
5 on your side starts now with a weather impact alert.
Heat advisory remains in effect for another 22 hours as storms continue to pop up across the bi-state. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. Let's get straight over to Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell tracking those overnight storm chances and when we'll finally have some relief from this heat.
Well, it's on the way. The chances for storms, though, somewhat limited for us. You look to the north. If you're, say, up towards Litchfield or out in the country here towards Troy, and you look north, you could probably see some of that distant lightning. Strong storms have gone through Peoria. Chicago has been pounded tonight with heavy rainfall and some pretty intense thunderstorms. They're headed over towards South Bend. But the focus has been to our north. The question is, will that impact us at all tomorrow? It certainly is impacting airport operations here because we have a lot of Southwest flights that come and go through Chicago as connections, and some flights have been diverted from Chicago down to St. Louis. So will we see any showers and thunderstorms overnight? There is a chance as we head towards daybreak that a residual boundary will be in place that kind of is the result of these thunderstorms. So there's a chance, but there's also a better chance that we don't get much rain and that we stay hot and humid along and south of Interstate 70 again tomorrow. That pushes the heat index value again over 100 degrees. So what's changed? That heat advisory has been extended through tomorrow for the metro area into the evening hours. There's one more day of heat, then things will get better. The scattered storms that are possible, that may give us some brief relief, but we really have to wait until Wednesday, Thursday, end of the week. That's when we'll see some real relief, and just wait till you see what happens next week.
Scott, thanks. Well, the May 16th tornado claimed lives and destroyed thousands of properties. Concerns about the city's response have been raised before, and tonight a new independent audit finds that many of those failures might have been prevented. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is here now with the findings. Brent.
Well, Mike, I've been going through the 70-page document since the city released it just hours ago. The emergency management director was placed on paid leave days after the storm. Today, Sarah Russell met with city leaders for a pre-termination hearing. It's been 3 months now since that deadly tornado ripped through St. Louis, leaving North City devastated. Now, a new report from a local law firm pointing out flaws in the city's emergency management department. Commissioner Sarah Russell, according to the report, was not at the emergency management office until nearly 2 hours after the tornado struck. It points to a major communication gap between the department and fire and police officials. Although tornado sirens didn't go off, the audit found even if they had been manually activated, a large part of the affected areas would have still been out of the siren's range. What's more, the audit says the department was understaffed, underfunded, and under-resourced. The law firm suggests the city takes action, including stepping up staffing and monthly testing of emergency sirens. Recently, St. Louis upgraded its siren system so that it's automatically triggered when there are alerts from the National Weather Service. Monday, Mayor Kara Spencer saying in part, this investigation makes it clear that there were breakdowns on several levels on May 16th, but also before and after. I am committed to putting this report to work so the city of St. Louis can respond at the highest possible levels in any future disaster. So we have placed that entire audit for you to see for yourself on KSDK.com. Meantime, the mayor is planning a news conference tomorrow to discuss these findings, which may shed light on what's next. We'll be following this one.
Well, the big shakeup tonight in Missouri politics. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey is stepping down to become co-deputy director of the FBI.
Bailey made the announcement just hours ago saying, quote, "My life has been defined by a call to service, and I am once again answering that call, this time at the national level. But wherever I am called, Missouri is and will always be home." President Donald Trump and Attorney General Pam Bondi picked him for the job. Bailey's resignation is effective September 8th. It comes during his legal efforts to remove St. Louis Sheriff Alfred Montgomery from office. He also recently secured an indictment against St. Louis County Executive Sam Page.
And Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe will announce his replacement tomorrow morning at 10. We will stream it live on KSDK.com and the 5+ streaming app. And at 2 o'clock, you can watch Mayor Kara Spencer answer all those questions about the external report on the city's tornado response. Download and watch for free on your Roku, Apple, Fire, or Samsung TV or LG TV.
Tonight, the company behind a controversial data center project in St. Charles withdrew its application.
It comes just 24 hours before the city council was set to hold a vote. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski is learning the company might try again. Laura?
Yeah, Mike and Kelly, I talked with an attorney for Project Cumulus who says they might come back and try this again in the same location after all of this feedback from the community. But it's already an uphill battle with growing opposition from residents and now even the mayor.
Hundreds of residents showed up to an open house to learn more about Project Cumulus, a 440-acre proposed data center last week. But even with more information, the opposition only appeared to grow, with thousands of signatures added to a petition. Tim Klein, a longtime farmer in St. Charles, says he's been watching the area for years.
The contaminated area is on the far east end of the protected area, and this was going to be developed on the far west end of the area, which is over a mile away from where the contamination was from UE and Findet corporations, and I just hope we can get this stopped down here.
And he's gotten his wish for now. The unnamed company pulled its application for diesel fuel and generators from the city council, but he's worried that industrial zoning of the area will allow Project Cumulus to try again, or even another company to set up shop there.
It's our protected water source, so we need to get together and see if we can get it rezoned back to agricultural and stop the filling on top of our water source.
After the open house, Mayor Dan Borgmeyer decided to withdraw his support. He says the non-disclosure agreement went much further than the ones they do all the time.
This one went to the point where it was just ridiculous, and they needed to step back. And there's a lot of good things about the project, but there's a lot of bad things about the project. And I think until the full scope of it's understood, and they've withdrawn, I don't know if they'll come back or not.
He also addressed the rumors that the original landowners are his cousins, which he says was brought to light by his last opponent for mayor.
I think it's the second or third. I have no idea who the people are. I'm related to just about everybody in St. Charles, the Boscherts and the Eccles and everybody else.
Attorney for Project Cumulus, Corb Maxwell, says he wants residents to know they were heard, and that's part of why they pulled the application.
It was time to reevaluate the approach that we made to the site and look at really focusing on what changes can we make to the site that may garner more support.
Are you guys looking elsewhere to do this, or are you hoping that it will still work out in this location?
I think the Project Cumulus team is always keeping our options open and looking at options all across the nation and in the Ameren service territory, but we really like this site.
They are still having tomorrow night's City Council meeting at the St. Charles Convention Center at 7 p.m. And I've heard from representatives from the project that they will be there and they will still allow people to speak on the subject, but there will no longer be that vote by the City Council.
Tonight, a 15-year-old is being held on second-degree murder charges accused in a deadly stabbing in South St. Louis County. Police were called to a home on Carrington Lane near Jefferson Barracks Park around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. Officers found 39-year-old Derek Merritt with stab wounds. He died at the hospital. That teen is being held by St. Louis County Family Court.
Police are asking for your help to find a man who hit and killed a woman in North St. Louis before ditching his car and running off. New at 10, Annie Krall is live outside police headquarters after hearing from officers and nearby businesses about the tragedy. Annie.
It was near the intersection of North Grand and Montgomery where police tell us a young woman was trying to cross the street. All of this coming near a popular gas station in North City. St. Louis Metro Police released these images on Monday of a man suspected of hitting a young woman early Saturday morning and fleeing the scene.
This is something that should never happen.
He abandoned his gray Infiniti QX70 at a gas pump at this Fairgrounds Market gas station on North Grand Boulevard. Eunice Alzaber works across the street and says reckless driving is definitely an issue.
Too fast. Now they have to pay attention for those things in the middle.
Officers say the pedestrian crash around 1:15 a.m. killed 20-year-old Tori Dunn. After the crash, the suspect didn't stop and continued north for less than a mile to the 3700 block of North Grand Boulevard. Police say eventually abandoning his car and running away on foot.
Very sad, because it's life, and you don't care for life, it's a big problem.
Alzaber says this area has gotten better in the last 2 or 3 years due to city improvements on the roads.
Too many accidents, you can't say weekly or every 3 days, especially in the intersection there. A lot of accidents. Then they build those pavement in the middle. It decreased how many accidents happened.
The kind of pedestrian safety work Charles Bryson focuses on with the organization TrailNet.
Do I realize that person probably first thought, wow, I'm going to go to jail, I may go to prison, but safety of people is the thing that should matter most.
Bryson says that starting this fall, they'll be partnering with Washington University in St. Louis to track where the hot spots are, especially for nighttime crashes.
And we need to make sure that those folks know that if you are breaking the law by speeding, by running red lights, you're going to be prosecuted, you're going to be convicted, and you're going to spend time either in jail or in prison.
Police tell us the investigation is ongoing. If anyone has information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen, which is 866-371-TIPS. Reporting live in downtown St. Louis, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
Outrage tonight in Clinton County over a billboard promoting the extremist group, the Proud Boys. It sits on Old Highway 50 in Breeze, right outside Breeze Central High School. Parents are concerned the billboard is there to try and recruit kids to join the group. The ad is drawing blowback from both parents and school administrators.
No billboard, no extremist group is going to change the way that every student that walks through here is treated.
That sign does not represent what Clinton County is all about. That sign does not represent what this community is about.
There are also growing calls for accountability from Lamar Advertising, the company that approved the billboard. So far, that company has not responded to our questions.
Easy on the eyes.
No redness, no pain.
The healthy benefit for students now that Missouri schools are a no phone zone. Dangerous dolls, the internet craze inspiring knockoffs and creating a serious health hazard.
One more steamy weather impact alert day and then a break for the end of the week. And wait until you see what's coming for next week. We'll see you in 6 minutes.
A new chapter of changes at St. Louis Public Schools welcome back students for the first day of school.
Thousands of students started the year at a new school because their old schools were damaged by the May 16th tornado. There didn't seem to be any issues with that big transition, but there were speed bumps for new Zoom buses. District leaders say there were delays due to road construction. Jerry Malone says her 11-year-old great-grandson faced an hour delay in South St. Louis.
He was really excited about going to school, and so that kind of, it brings you down.
So you say you had one grandmother, but you had probably had 70 grandmothers who said that their buses were on time. We are going to continue making those adjustments.
The district says 100% of the routes and buses were covered.
Missouri schools are now a no phone zone. Cell phones and devices are now banned in K through 12 schools across the state. Governor Mike Kehoe signed it into law last month. Phones will be allowed in emergencies and to accommodate a student's disability or medical needs. Several other states have enacted similar laws to eliminate distractions and improve mental health.
Going device-free might give students a whole new perspective. Shern Min Chow shows us the benefits it may have on their eyes.
Kids love their devices, from games and gossip to social media and scrolling. William and Gabe are Lamar High School students.
How much time do you figure you spend a day on your phone or an electronic device?
I'd say like 5 hours a day.
At night, definitely like a good 3 hours probably.
That's actually relatively good. Experts say on average, kids between 8 and 18 spend 7.5 hours a day using screens to play, study, and work.
No redness, no pain. No. Awesome.
A generation ago, 1 in 4 kids worldwide were nearsighted. Today, it's more than 1 in 3.
That is pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy.
UT physicians Dr. Stephanie Handel explains constantly focusing on near work literally reshapes your eye.
So anything that's kind of fingertips and closer, it's causing those muscles inside the eye to send signals to the brain that the eye's just not quite long enough. So the longer the eye grows, the more nearsighted they become.
The optometrist prescribes medicated contact lenses to help slow the progression of the disease in children. So to help reduce digital eye strain, experts recommend that every 20 minutes you take a break from your device for 20 seconds and focus on something that's 20 feet away. Oh, margaritas. Chance you might actually do it?
Probably not.
Well, here's another recommendation then. Experts suggest spending at least 2 hours a day outside because studies indicate exposure to sunlight, focusing on items near and far, along with other benefits, can help lower the risk of nearsightedness.
The American Academy of Ophthalmology recommends children undergo several eye screenings as they grow.
A consumer alert tonight for AT&T customers. You could be eligible for thousands of dollars in cash payments. It's all part of a $177 million settlement covering 2 data breaches from last year. Customers impacted by either breach or are eligible and will receive an email. Those impacted by both could receive up to $7,500. The deadline to submit a claim is November 18th.
We have a warning to parents tonight about one of the summer's hottest toys. Last week, our Verify team showed you how to spot the differences between Labubu dolls and the fake La Fufu dolls. Now the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission warns those knockoff toys pose a serious risk of choking and death to small children. Real Labubu dolls have 9 teeth and a pop-marked logo embossed on the left foot.
All right, Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell rejoins us now with that weather impact forecast. And Scott, I know somewhere in your forecast you've got some relief from this heat.
I have relief from the heat. Don't know that we're going to have a lot of rain that's widespread. Some of us still could use some rain, but you know, today it was out in western portions of St. Charles County versus closer to the airport. Yesterday, the airport had a drenching. In about an hour, got over an inch of rain. Today, that focus was to the west, and boy, has it poured tonight up to our north. Chicago's 73 right now. We're still in the 80s here in St. Louis, but those showers and thunderstorms to the north, they've been causing all kinds of flight problems in O'Hare and around Midway, and so that's why we have some extra southwest flights at the gate tonight. A few of them were diverted down here to St. Louis. Look at the storms. Chicago's still getting some heavier rain. The stronger storms have pushed off to the east, but there are more storms in central portions of Illinois, back towards Galesburg and then back towards Keokuk. And we'll watch that area. This puts down that boundary, and perhaps with all the warm, humid air that we have in place, as it moves south and drifts south overnight, it could very well generate a few more thunderstorms. But our anticipation is tomorrow along and south of Interstate 70, including the metro area, we're going to see temperatures in the low to mid 90s again, and we're going to be dealing with the humidity levels pushing those heat index values again to 100 to 105, 107 degrees. But there's a break. After tomorrow, we're in the 80s for highs for the rest of the week. And not only that, the dew points are going to come down. That's that measure of humidity that's in the air. So by the end of the week, dew points will be in the 60s. But wait, it gets even better as we head towards the weekend. All right, tomorrow morning, we are talking about that chance as a residual from what's up to our north right now of seeing some showers and thunderstorms across the area. Don't think at this point it's going to be all that widespread, most of it staying to the north. So assuming that we don't have widespread rain tomorrow, and that's the assumption we're making, low to mid 90s for highs, hot, humid tomorrow afternoon, then a chance for a few more storms to drift in here. As we go towards the weekend, you're going to like this. Temperatures are really going to cool off. 85 degrees right now. 97 was our high today. We've yet to hit 100 this year. We probably won't based on where we are at this point. Tomorrow, low to mid 90s. Again, there's a rain chance early. There's a rain chance later. You're trying to do roofing right now, and a lot of people are. It is a pain because of these isolated nature. But look at your weekend. It's mainly dry. Temperatures are backing off a bit, and heading into next week, which takes us to Labor Day, below average temperatures expected across our region. 8 to 14 day outlook is a sweet one for us. Weather impact alert for tomorrow. Again, because of the heat and humidity, make sure you're staying hydrated. I mean, we've been through this now. This is the third decent heat wave we've had to deal with. just check on your neighbors, especially the seniors, make sure they're doing okay, using that air conditioning, and, slowing it down. You got to slow it down when it's hot like this.
All right. Scott, thanks.
Here's Frank with sports.
Kelly, we have a hit and run with Ali Marmol, an incredible stat about a Cardinal player, and a St. Louis football player is blowing up on the national stage. We'll be right back. The Cardinals went to Miami tonight to try and stop the bleeding of a 5-game losing streak. And the easiest way for them to win is to have Nolan Gorman hit a home run. This is a bizarre but maybe very telling stat. The Cardinals are 46-18 when he hits one. In his second big league game, Nathan Church had a moment in center field. Wow. Alec Burleson is on fire. 7 hits in 3 games, including 3 tonight. That one scored Ivan Herrera. They need him to stay hot with Brendan Donovan now on the injured list. And in the 9th, Gorman with a 2-run homer. His 12th. I am not giving up on this guy yet. He has rare power. Cardinals win it 8-3. So we are 10 days away from Mizzou opening up the season, and still no word on the starting quarterback spot. This is going to end up being closer than Al Gore versus George Bush. There is no debate at tight end. Brett Norfleet is the man. 6'6", 265 pounds, and skills. He caught 26 balls last season. Coach Drink, tell me about Brett.
I think the biggest thing with Brett is not to put pressure on himself. I think he's got to go let the play happen. The play doesn't care who makes it. Brett's a very physical player at the line of scrimmage. He's got great length and can stretch the field vertically. We've tried to focus on that, giving him some routes further down the field. For him, it's about not pressing and just relaxing and playing football.
This guy has played some football. Jeremiah Love, the pride of CBC High School and now a junior at Notre Dame. Today, he was named a preseason All-American. Why not? 1,100 rushing yards and 17 touchdowns last season. History on the line just a couple of hours ago at the Little League World Series. South Carolina's Joe Giletti had a 6-inning no-hitter with 12 strikeouts, but he hit his pitch limit in a scoreless game, had to stop pitching. Giletti moved to third base as the team from Nevada broke up the no-hitter, and then there was another hit. The fielder overruns the ball and the winning run scores. Heartbreak for South Carolina as Nevada wins it 1-0. On Mondays, we play Hit and Run with a sports celebrity. And tonight, the most second-guessed sports figure in our town. It's the Cardinal manager, Ali Marmol. And for a change, the questions are not about his lineup. If Ali Marmol, the manager, was managing Ali Marmol, the player, would Ali Marmol, the player, get any playing time?
No, I would have released me too. I mean, I couldn't save my life.
Favorite place for you and your wife to dine?
We have a couple. We just hit a spot, Louis. Absolutely loved it. They treated us like gold there. Napoli, Annie Guns.
No baseball in this world, you would be doing what right now?
I would probably be running a startup.
Most surprising thing about our town that's really impressed you?
You might not believe me when I say this because of the criticism I receive around town, but the people in person are actually as genuine and supportive as you can imagine. I've yet to come across anybody in town, whether I'm by myself, eating dinner, lunch, coffee shop, doesn't matter what I'm doing, or with my family, where they don't come up and, express genuine support for the position and how we handle things.
Ali, I think, just got tossed from the game. Nick Lynch said, come on out, and Oliver Marmol's going to go at it.
What is something you're good at that nobody knows?
I love business, and I'm super passionate about it. So we are a part of more than a handful of companies that have, that's my hobby, and it's something I'm good at and I appreciate doing.
Best single night in a Carter uniform is what?
I enjoyed clinching in Milwaukee in 22. I appreciated seeing Wayno's 200, 700 by Albert, 324 by Wayno and Yachty, but also watching AP, Wayno, and Yachty, the moment we were able to create where all three of them walk off the field together. I think people will remember that for a long time.
That moment when the three walked out, that's still one of the greatest moments.
It really was.
Yeah,
you still think about that.
Yep.
Thanks, Frank.
Alrighty.
All right, a beefy battle for some Missouri firefighters. The interstate fire where perishable cargo was at stake. All right, check this out. A big barbecue on Interstate 44 shut down the highway in Phelps County this morning.
A semi-truck carrying 40,000 pounds of ribeye steaks caught fire. The trailer and all the meat destroyed. The cause is under investigation. By the way, this was probationary firefighter Jenna Ulrich's first fire, and she battled alongside her father, Glenn, who's also a firefighter.
Oh,
they will have
father-daughter.
a story to tell now.
Yes, they will.
Yes.
And what's your story on this weather, Scott?
One more day of the heat and humidity, and then we get a really good break, and that break is going to last into the weekend and into next week. Next week, a taste of fall. This is the last weekend before Labor Day weekend.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the Show of Strength Telethon coming up on the 31st, so nice weather would be appreciated. There you have it, 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 5 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.